Hi, welcome to Therapy for Nerds, psychoeducation through nerdy topics. If you like therapists slapping psychological meaning and theories onto all sorts of nerdy stuff, please like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Cassidy. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and today I think I'm just going to do some therapist thoughts about Frozen 2. Spoiler warning ahead. So I had mixed feelings about Frozen 2. I didn't quite think that the songs were as catchy, although I said that coming out of the theater, and I have now had Into the Unknown in my head for several days, so touche. And Lost in the Woods, I laughed hysterically while everyone else in the audience had no reaction? Why? It was hilarious! It's okay to laugh, people. So I've seen a lot of talk about Frozen 2 and the mental health messages, and that was one of the parts of the movie that I really enjoyed. Elsa definitely has a big issue with anxiety and depression, and the way she normally handles her emotions is to cut herself off, to really go inward, which can be pretty dangerous and is really heartbreaking for the people around her, particularly Anna, who is fighting to keep her connections and who just desperately wants to keep everyone together, everyone safe, everyone happy, especially Elsa. Especially since they went through that long period of time where they weren't connected. And now Anna feels like she has this connection and she's not willing to give that up for anything in the world, even when it interrupts her love life a little bit. I was so glad that Kristoff was so understanding because I felt like that really showed a healthy relationship. If he had gone super jealous over Anna needing to be near Elsa and support Elsa during that time, then that would not have been as nice. I'm probably going to keep this video pretty short, and I'll link below to another video that I felt did a pretty good job explaining what it is that really captured Frozen 2 and its messages. But there was one thing that the video didn't talk a lot about, which is Olaf. The whole "this will make sense when it's older" song I thought was really funny. A little not true to life because I feel like a lot of things don't make sense even as you get older. And you just learn how to handle that a little bit better. You just learn to handle not knowing what you're doing with a little bit more grace than when you were younger. I'm sorry, now I'm just thinking about the little girl behind us who laughed hysterically during that number and then had to be taken out of the theater when he died because she just started sobbing hysterically. Yeah, that was tough. The poor thing. I hope she came back in and saw that he was okay. So I thought that was really funny. And I would like to dive into that a little bit more. I'm willing to bet there'll be a Frozen 3 because reasons. Disney, come on. Everything has to be a trilogy, and if it's not a trilogy, then everything has to be some long saga or whatever. But, anyways, it was really interesting seeing the girls and how they reacted to being put in that situation. I really enjoyed watching Elsa learn to come into her own, which I felt like we had a lot in the first Frozen movie, but that's the thing about learning and growing and being a person. You don't do one musical number and then you just become that person for the rest of your life. It's a lot of choices, a lot of actions, and then there's also a lot of falling back into old habits, which is what we see Elsa doing. We see her starting to withdraw from everyone else, and that voice that keeps calling her to tell her to move on and to do what it is that she's really meant to do, which is not be the ruler of Arendelle. I liked Into the Unknown because it was really a song about self-discovery. And I really loved that last transformation that she has when she's falling and trying to figure out what it is that needs to be done to appease the spirits. That whole area where she's looking at the past, but really her past and really herself, she gets to look really deep and inward onto herself, her past trauma, why it is that she acts the way that she acts. And she gets to confront that in such a powerful, meaningful way. The show yourself number was, yes, her singing to the spirits, but also her singing to herself And that's when you see her become comfortable. And I really loved the literal transition of having her hair up, and then as she's progressed throughout the movies, her hair slowly comes down. And you can see her really come into her own and really become comfortable in her own skin. That last costume just seems like she's the most herself that she's ever been. In the original Frozen, when she does the costume change and Let It Go, she's, yes, letting it go of the shackles of being in Arendelle and having to hide herself, but she's also kind of taking on this role of being a villain. She's personifying what she thinks other people think of her. Whereas in Show Yourself, I felt like she was talking to herself and really coming into her own element, which I thought was really powerful and really awesome to see. Alright, I mentioned Olaf's death earlier, but I also want to talk about Anna and just her song, the Do the Next Right Thing. I really loved that message, and I felt like that was a really powerful message to send. Anna is alone, which is her literal worst fear. She's going back to ground zero. This is where we saw her basically in the first film. Because in the first film, she was all alone and desperately seeking connections. And then she finally gets it at the end of the film, and at the beginning of the film we can see her struggling to just make sure that it stays because that's all she has, and she's so afraid of getting to that place again. And so when she gets there, it's devastating. I feel like her bubbly personality came about as a way to cope with her dealing with having to be alone all the time. That bubbly personality is a way for her to meet other people. It's a way for her to get to know other people. It's a way for other people to immediately have this sense of connection with her. So I loved The Next Right Thing. She manages to stand up, and even though she's dealing with an impossible task, all alone, facing her worst nightmare, she still stands up and just does the next thing she knows she has to do. And every little step she takes makes it a little bit easier. And then she's finally able to start running, and that's when she gets help from Kristoff. And she apologizes for not paying attention to him. Poor guy. And then he's Kristoff and awesome. But then she finds more help, is what I'm getting at. And from there, she's able to actually do the tasks that she needs to do. Even though it's really an impossible decision, because as basically the queen at this point, because she's fairly certain that Elsa is gone, she makes the decision to destroy her own kingdom, and then she literally has nothing left. Doing the next right thing is hard, but in the end, it was the right thing for her to do. It was the best thing for her to do. So I saw that there's a lot of mixed reviews about the ending. I personally really liked Elsa going off and doing her own thing while Anna stayed and became the queen, because I felt like that fit in a little bit better with their personalities. Anna has always been a people person. She knows how to talk to other people. She loves putting on parties. She loves, not that that's what being a queen is all about, but she loves talking with people and she loves helping them. And it just seems like such an extension of her personality to become queen. Whereas Elsa, yes, she loves helping people, but she also is not very good at talking to people. She's not good at letting people in, which I think I love the literal representation of Elsa pushing Anna away and running through fire while not paying attention to what Anna was doing, and for Anna to literally run through fire. I liked that moment as just a characterization for both of them, for how they're feeling and for how both of them are dealing with the stressors. I should really start writing these things down because I feel like I got a little rambly and a little all over the place. But this has been a video of Therapist Thoughts, digging deeper into a children's cartoon than a high school English teacher digs into Fahrenheit 451. If you liked this video providing psychoeducation through nerdy topics, please like, comment, subscribe, all that other YouTubery stuff. Let me know what you thought about Frozen 2 and the mental health messages in the comment section down below. Bye.